I've wanted to hold off on talking about Joe Rogan for a few reasons that I don't really want to get into, but it's almost impossible when we're dealing with the last days and prophecy because Joe Rogan is such a big part of this. I mean, he is a major spoke in the wheel. He is one of the major outlets of information that is influencing probably hundreds of millions, if not more, people. And what he is doing is ushering in at in a very subtle way because remember, the unfortunately they work like we read about the serpent. He's the most subtle beast in the field. They take after that approach. And so by him slowly exposing people to these ideas, right, of like hallucinogenic drugs and AI, the artificial intelligence that plays a major role in these last days, and all of these things, he's one of the major outlets that is ushering this thought, this whole idea of what we would call the new age, which is really the old age because everything has been done before. And another person that is a major player in this, that is always on his show, or at least quite a bit, I've seen him on there, is Elon Musk. So just to quickly point out a couple things about Joe, one of the tricks I believe that he uses is that he always brags about how dumb he is, right? And he makes this big facade of how he's dumb compared to other people. But in actuality, I believe Joe Rogan is very, very, very smart. I know he's very, very smart, and I know for a fact that you are not allowed to get as popular as he is, to have as much money as he does, and the fame and the influence. That's the major word. The influence out there, unless you are part of the entire program. It's very obvious. I think a lot of you guys probably can see that out there. But even just judging a tree by its fruits, like I said, he is exposing people, young people, to all these very antichrist ideas. And again, I always go back to the drugs, hallucinogenic drugs, marijuana. Sure, there's a use probably for marijuana for pain as far as replacing it for the over-the-counter drugs, but that is not the type of language that Joe Rogan uses for marijuana or other drugs. He's talking about using these things for entertainment, right? And so he is a major player in this. Huge, huge. He's very smart. He's very subtle. The way that they talk, you can just tell he's probably very, very highly trained. But at the bare minimum, he's very smart. And he is part of this ushering in of what is coming. And again, looking at Elon Musk, he is obviously a major part in this too, dealing with the artificial intelligence and the technology that is being, again, using the word ushered, ushering this stuff in. A lot of you guys have seen how he talks about Neuralink, and AI, just all the different things you can go through clip through clip through clip. And this is what the Bible is talking about as far as the last days. And knowledge increasing is part of this. In the book of Daniel, it talks about in the last days, knowledge will increase. And the Bible also talks about a lot of false prophets. Okay. And these guys would definitely fit in to false prophets, false teachers. A lot of people think that that's just confined to church walls. That is not. False prophets, false teachers are anywhere and everywhere. When you turn on your television and you listen to government people and so-called science people that were warned about false science in 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 20 and 21, these are false prophets. Elon Musk is selling a bill of goods, and Joe Rogan is a part of this. A bill of goods to the people that you're going to be able to, same lies in the garden, live forever and be as gods, right? This is what he's pushing through what? Technology. Where did the technology come from? All you got to do is look in the book of Enoch, and it talks about the angels or the watchers, the disobedient angels, taught men the secrets of heaven, and the angels taught men all their powers. And so here we are. Now, the very amazing thing is that God told us in the Bible, maybe not the way that the average person thinks, but he definitely told us that we would be in a generation of AI. Because if you look in the 6th book of the Bible, 6 is the number of man. The 6th element on the periodic table is carbon, which man is made of. God made man on the 6th day. Okay, if you open it up to the book of Joshua, that's the 6th chapter. Joshua means Yeshua. And where Joshua or Yeshua fought the armies that were the seed of the serpent was at a place called AI. And all that is a picture of right now. The 6th book translates into the 6,000th year, the end of the 6,000th year. Like I said, the number 6 is the number of man. Joshua translates into Yeshua, fighting the serpent seed and AI. That's why that place that Joshua fought at was named AI. That's why Joshua was named Joshua, because it means Yeshua, and it's a picture of Yeshua fighting the armies, serpent seed, and AI. That's how God does it. So God told us the end from the beginning, like he said he would, in Isaiah 46:10, but you have to see it for what it really is saying. And not only that, but there is even a character in there named Elon. This is how precise the Bible is, but in a mystery. Proverbs 25 verse 2, it is the glory of God to conceal a thing, but it is the honor of kings to search out a matter. Now, to be honest with you guys, I have been holding off on talking that much about Joe Rogan because, I was listening to Joe Rogan years ago when I first started this journey, and my heart, there is kind of a place in my heart for Joe and a lot of these guys, because some of them, there's different circumstances. Some of them got in and now you can't get out, right? Once you're in something like this so deep that you can't get out and there's no place to run. So that could be one thing that is happening with some of these people. And also some people are raised to be like this and they don't know anything else. It's like being brainwashed from a child. And I believe that there are so many people in that position. Now, God knows what to do with them, but I don't. But that is one reason why I try to be decent and professional when I talk about these characters, because I don't know their situation. I don't know how they got to where they are. I don't know why they're there. Those are only things that God can know. but I can judge and report on the things that I see them doing right as of right now. And that is what is going on. Joe Rogan and Elon Musk, they are both major players in what is going on right now. Huge. The type of influence that Joe Rogan has and the type of influence that Elon Musk has, it's a worldwide. I mean, I don't know what's going on in other countries, but as far as America goes, it is a nationwide influence on so many people. And whether or not these guys, whatever position God knows what they're in, but whatever it may be, the payment, if they are held accountable by God and not forgiven their sins, and he doesn't count them as righteousness through Jesus Christ at some point, then the punishment that these men will have to bear is unimaginable, because Joe and Elon and all these guys, they're not only influencing adults, but they're influencing children. They and millions of them. I mean, the punishment would be too great for them to bear. And it's not just these guys, but it's the whole working system of people that are involved in this, and influencing and deceiving the world, just like the serpent and the soon coming mark of the beast. The punishment is so horrific. Like we read in the book of Revelation, the lake of fire, and Jesus also talks about hell. I don't care how you want to lay it out, any way you want. Those things sound completely horrific. And I don't know what these guys believe as far as when your flesh and blood dies, because, they're obviously pushing lots of different agendas and not completely truthful with us. You'll even see Joe Rogan talk about Jesus sometimes and all of this. But whatever it is, they have no idea. Let me rephrase that. They have an idea of what they're in for, but they just don't believe it. If they believed truly and had the love of the true God in their hearts, they couldn't do what they're doing. They couldn't. And again, different circumstances. Maybe they do what they're doing just because, they can't get out, and, maybe they'll be unalived if they do or whatever. Who knows? I'm not going to judge their heart. God knows. But my whole point is that when you corrupt children, not just anybody, but children for that matter, Jesus spoke very highly against this. He said it would be better to tie a millstone around your neck and be cast into the sea than to corrupt or offend a little one. And that's what this show does for the most part. There's some interesting things on it, and he mixes it up a bit, like a little bit of variety. But of course, at the end of the day, the real goal in what they're doing is ushering in the new age and the mark of the beast. But when you see pictures like this of Joe Rogan, it's kind of hard to think that he's really, caught in the middle and he's in something that he can't get out of. It looks like his heart is in what he's doing. And again, this picture is of Joe Rogan with, it says Anton LaVey's son. Another picture says that it's his grandson. Either way, Anton was the founder of the Church of Satan. And Joe Rogan is doing the devil horns or whatever we call it with his hand. And, you see a picture like this, and then you see the content that he's putting out constantly. And it's like, he looks like he's having a good time right here, And he doesn't seem like he's caught in anything. So it's hard not to believe that Joe Rogan, his heart is not into what he's doing. I think it is. I don't know, though. But again, look at this picture. I mean, this goes back a long, long way. So I just wanted to talk about Joe Rogan a little bit, Elon Musk, what they're pushing. Most of you guys can already see that clearly. And then I wanted to show you guys this picture of Joe Rogan with either the son or the grandson of Anton LaVey, which is the founder of Church of Satan. And it's very, honestly, when you look into these things, it gets very dark. Um, I used to listen to Joe Rogan like 8 years ago, and that was, you know, that's kind of why I didn't really want to talk bad about him, and I'm still not talking bad about him, but I'm pointing out from a biblical point of view what's going on. One of the reasons that God told Adam and Eve to not mess with this certain knowledge back in the garden was that when man gets this special knowledge, they use it in a corrupted way, to say the least. And this is exactly what we read about Lucifer doing in the Bible, that his wisdom was perfect, and he was beautiful, but his wisdom became corrupted. In other words, he used what he knew, which was higher than other entities like humans and maybe other angels, possibly, I'm not sure, but he used that in a corrupted way. Now, I'm not going to sit here and go through every way that they use their knowledge in a corrupted way. There's many ways that is done. But that is why God didn't want man to have this certain knowledge. But we read about, vaguely in the Bible, but more specifically in the book of Enoch, that is what the fallen angels, the disobedient angels did, is that they taught men this special knowledge. And if you look at in the past, for thousands of years at least, we see this idea, this same thing playing out as we have today, which is a small minority of the ruling class of people are the ones with this knowledge, right? And we understand the way that they got it is unlawfully, right? Doing things that they shouldn't. And that they have been able to manipulate and rule over the majority of people in one way or another. But it's almost always by deception or brute force or both or manipulation. In fact, it's all of those three: deception, manipulation, and if none of that works, then it's brute force, right? And so that is how they have done what they've done and are doing what they are doing. And like I said, the way that they get this knowledge, right, is an unlawful way. And the angels that give them this knowledge is unlawful. And how they make contact with these angels. You see, it's all unlawful. And Paul writes, if a man strive for masteries, he must strive lawfully. And that's what they do not do. That's why in the Bible, you see all the things, and you see what they think is, a lot of them think is, well, Yahweh God is the evil one because he's trying to hide all this special knowledge from us. And so he's not going to give it to us at this point. So what we're going to do is get it in another way. And what do? They do their ritual. I'm not going to go into all the things that Satanists do to make contact with these entities, not only fallen angels, but demons. And so that is what they think. They think that the God of the Bible, Yahweh, in the garden was the bad guy trying to keep man from good things or from, special knowledge. And so the serpent came along and helped man out. That's how they look at it. And some of them believe that it's just allegory, and where they get this knowledge from is just the ether around us and whatever organically, so to speak, right? There's a few variants of Satanism, in this world. But to make it short and sweet, that is what they think when they think about the God of the Bible. Oh, you're not going to give us this knowledge? Then I'll do all these satanic things to make contact with these entities that will give me this knowledge. And remember, Jesus said, I am the door. He said, no man comes to the Father except through me. So Jesus isn't going to accept any of that. He's not going to accept the people that are practicing that on a regular basis. And that's just how it is. And so what I believe happens is that these people see such high knowledge and technology, just like in the book of Revelation. That's right. Just like in the book of Revelations, where the people say, who can stand against the beast? Look at what he can do, right? And they can bring fire down from the sky, like with their technology. And these people, like I said, another problem with them having this knowledge is that they think that this is the peak, that this is it. We have arrived. And there's nothing that Yahweh God or his son Jesus Christ can do to us, because we have the knowledge too. Or we have more. We're stronger. And this is how they are highly deceived also. You see, the issue, one of the issues with man is that the more that you think you know, the higher up that you think you are over people. And these people, just like Lucifer said, I'll be like the Most High. So whether they want to just be like God or they want to overthrow God, remember, the lie in the garden is you'll be as gods. And this is one of the dangerous things about all of this knowledge, is that it gives you a heart that says, I'm not scared of God anymore. We have our technology, our gods. And this is exactly what happened in Egypt. And it's a common theme repeating itself in the Bible. In Egypt, the Magi, the Egyptian sorcerers and things like this, when Moses came, they had three snakes, three rods or something like that turned into three snakes, right? But then Moses' rod turned into one large snake and ate the three snakes. So what were they saying? They were saying, well, we're more powerful than the God of the Bible. And just like with Elijah, one man, Elijah, and there were either 800 or 850 sorcerers and magi of the opposing side. And so when they called on their small g gods, nothing happened. And then when Elijah called on God, he did a miracle. And so it's not about the man. It was just one man, but it was a show of God's power over the power that man had accumulated from the fallen angels and all of their sorcery. And it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. And that is what they don't believe. They can't they see the patterns in the Bible? Don't they but see, they don't. There must be a blind spot or something. And this is what I'm saying, is that they accumulate so much knowledge in these unlawful ways, and they got so much knowledge that they deceive themselves. They're self-deceived, right? Because of what they have, their knowledge, their technology, all these things. They think that they can go up against the Most High, and they can't. And maybe they believe some other things, but this is what I know. I'm telling you guys what I've understood as far as what they believe.